Okay, we're going to have a little look at part A of our sample ABQ here, which is about a company called Swiftware. Remember, these questions have been designed around the type of question we'd expect to see in June, right? Part A, and remember with the ABQ, your technique should be start with the question first and plan an answer. So there's kind of two parts to planning the answer. There's planning the number of points you're going to need to answer the question, but also you're planning your headings or planning the points themselves. And they're the things that you're going to be looking out for when you're reading through the text, right? So if I'm looking at part A here, for example, the question says, explain the term intrapreneur. And that's the first part. And then A part 2 says, outline the methods used to promote entrepreneurship at Swiftware Limited, and it's worth 25 marks. So come back to my planning point there. First thing is we should be trying to work out, well, how many points do we need? So for part 1 here, explain the term entrepreneur, we just need to explain it. We should be looking to explain it with 2 sentences of keyword information. It's just a good guideline to follow. Anytime we're asked to explain or define something, 2 sentences of good keyword info will do it for us most of the time. And then part 2, outline the methods used to promote entrepreneurship at Swiftware. So we need to figure out, well, how many methods should we be giving in our answer? Like if you were to conservatively say, oh, well, the explanation for an entrepreneur there is probably worth 5 marks. That would leave 20 marks for part 2. And remember, the ABQ is a little bit different to like your standard long question. Like it tends to be the case that the points are worth more marks because you have to do more stuff. Like in most long questions, we use that general rule of, things come in banks of 5 marks, and the 5 marks are broken down for 2 for stating and 3 for explaining. Generally speaking, there's loads of exceptions, obviously. But with the ABQ, you have to state, explain, and link. So there's more things you have to do. So it's generally the case that they're worth more marks per point. So it could be anywhere from kind of 6 to 10 marks. So we've got 20 marks here after part 1 left for part 2. So let's say that they were looking for 3 methods, could be 6, 6, 7. So 2 6 marks, or 2 7 marks and 1 6 marks. That would get us to 20. But maybe you don't know. Maybe you're unsure and you want to totally cover yourself, so you give 4 points and they'll take your best 3, and that would be a good strategy to do. But that's how many points, that's how we should be thinking about it, is working out, well, how many conservatively, how many marks might be going for part A and or A part 1, and then working out, well, what's left for part 2, and trying to come up with some idea around that. Anyway, the other part of planning your answer is to actually, I would write beside the question, what do I know about this question? So then when I read the text, I'm looking for the answers. I'm not just wasting a reading of text. I'm in an exam, I'm under time pressure. I want to make sure that I'm really, really economical in how I use my time. So you want to, when you read the text, you want it to be an informed reading where you're actually looking for particular things. So the methods used to promote entrepreneurship, I would be writing beside that what I know about those methods. So it's things like providing rewards. It's things like giving adequate resources to employees. It's things like putting employees into teams. It seems like having a good culture where it's okay to contribute ideas and make mistakes. They could use empowerment. They're the sort of things that a business can use to promote entrepreneurship. Then when I'm reading the text, I'm looking out for those things. And it's fine if you can only think of a few. As you read the text, you might realize there's other ones that you couldn't think of or you couldn't remember that pop out to you, right? So let's have a little look at the paragraph that applies to this. So remember, with the ABQ, what they're trying to do is all the links that you need for part A, they're trying to put them into one paragraph. All the links that you need for part B, they're trying to stick them into one paragraph. And all the links you need for part C, they're trying to stick them into one paragraph. That's what they're trying to do. So if I come up to our ABQ here, and we look at paragraph 1 here, it says Swiftware is a rapidly growing company in the sportswear industry known for its innovative approach to both product design and internal operations. So just a one-line intro about the business. Then we're into paragraph 2 here, which says, at Swiftware, employees are encouraged to think creatively about improving both their daily tasks and the overall business. So that's really screaming at you that this is going to be, the next couple of lines are going to be about entrepreneurship. And that's often what the ABQ does, is the start of each paragraph will wave a flag at you saying the links you're looking for part A or part B, they're coming up, right? So here it says, recently, several small teams were formed within the design and production departments, each tasked with exploring innovative ways to streamline production and develop new products. Okay, so the thing that jumps out to me there is they were put into teams. That's one of the things that we planned or looked out for what we wrote down beside the question we were planning our answer. So I'm going to highlight that because that fits with our answer. Next thing, it says these teams have access to advanced design software, 3D printers, and a prototype lab enabling to test ideas quickly. So I'm going to highlight that whole sentence because it matches up with our planned answer of employees being given adequate resources. Just up here, I should really highlight the whole sentence. So recently, small teams were formed within the design and production departments, each tasked with exploring innovative ways to streamline production. Then we're down here to, during the company's quarterly innovation days, all ideas, whether successful or not, are discussed openly, with management focusing on the creative process and potential improvements. So I'm going to highlight that because it fits in with our planned answer of creating a culture where it's okay to fail or contribute ideas. So I'm going to highlight all of that sentence. And if we look at the last sentence in the paragraph, it says, for those whose ideas lead to measurable improvements, bonuses and promotions are frequently awarded, reinforcing a culture of innovation. I'm going to highlight that because it matches up with our planned answer of providing financial rewards for successful entrepreneurship. So then if we go down to our sample answer, see what it might look like. So part A was to explain entrepreneurship, and 7 marks go in there, and the 7 marks are broken down 4 and 3, and this is what I was getting at earlier. Should be looking at 2 pieces of keyword information, 2 sentences. 1 sentence 4 marks, next sentence 3 marks. So need a tight definition here. An entrepreneur is an existing employee within a business that engages in entrepreneurial activity for that business. So I have to be really accurate there. It's an existing employee within the business that come up with entrepreneurial activity for that business. Second point of information, they come up with new ideas, new products and processes, and require freedom and resources to pursue their ideas. So it's about employees within the business engaging in entrepreneurial activity to come up with new ideas, products and processes. Part 2 then was outline the methods used to promote entrepreneurship at Swiftware. So it was 3 points at 6 marks each, 2 marks for stating the method, 2 marks for explaining it, and 2 marks for linking to the text. So let's say our first heading is provide resources. So about time and capital. That'll be good enough for 2 marks. Then explain what we mean. And always, the way you should structure the explain part of your answer in the ABQ is you should have 2 sentences. So you should look at it like explain and explain again. So always 2 sentences of explanation. And what I would try and do is that second sentence, I would always look to try and drop in the company name to that second sentence. Because I suppose like you really should, in that second sentence, you're still trying to use keywords, but you should be trying to address the question asked a little bit as well. A business needs to offer employees resources such as funding and time for innovative projects. At Swiftware, employees are given access to technology they need to explore new ideas. So we've dropped Swiftware in there for that second sentence. So state, explain, and then a link. These teams have access to advanced design software, 3D printers, and a prototype lab, enabling them to test ideas quickly was our link. So 2 marks, 2 marks for the explanation, and 2 marks for the link there. So then we come down to our next point. Provide financial rewards for efforts and creativity. So it's a good idea to have a decent heading. It should answer the question. So be wary of just giving one word there, rewards. But this properly answers to give financial rewards for efforts and creativity. And 2 sentences of explanation about that heading. So entrepreneurship can be encouraged by offering a variety of rewards involving a mixture of pay, incentives, and bonuses. Successful ideas at Swiftware are rewarded by a bonus, and this encourages creativity and productivity. Link that shows evidence in the text that employees at Swiftware were given financial rewards sent. So for those whose ideas lead to measurable improvements, bonuses and promotions are frequently awarded, reinforcing a culture of innovation. 2 marks for the heading, 2 marks for the explanation, then 2 marks for the link there at the end. Then we need 1 more point. So let's say we go for putting employees into teams. Teamwork encourages creativity amongst employees as it facilitates brainstorming sessions as part of the product development process. And by putting brainstorming in there, you're boosting your keyword use, showing that you know that the advantages of teamwork is creativity and that brainstorming is part of the team process. Really good example though is the second sentence here. Is a really good example of dropping some textbook knowledge in as well. So if you see here, it says a matrix org structure at Swiftware promotes greater unity as different departments can work on ideas together. So we've dropped Swiftware in there, but we've also highlighted that we know that a matrix structure is where employees work in teams, and that one of the benefits of matrix is greater unity. So there's lots of technical knowledge in that one sentence. Linked, and recently several small teams were formed within the design and production departments, each tasked with exploring innovative ways to streamline production and develop new products. So 2 marks for your heading, 2 marks for the explanation, and then 2 marks for the link to the text that shows evidence of teams. You could also say management could adopt a facilitator approach, empowerment, or create a culture where it's okay to make mistakes. There was evidence of those 3 in the text. Now that's a crucial thing though. Make sure that there has to be evidence of your point in the text. So maybe not so applicable here, but let's say you're talking about management activities, or let's say you're talking about the different types of planning. There's a question, so something like evaluate the different types of planning used in Swiftware, or something like that. And let's say that you know that strategic planning is a type of planning, but if there's no evidence of strategic planning in the text, you can't give that and you won't pick up any marks for it. So that's just one thing to look out for there. Well, key thing, plan and answer. So there's 2 parts to that. How many points are you going to give? And also write down beside the question the things that you should be looking out for in the text. And then our structure, state, explain, link.